And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm Professor JRod. On today's episode, we're going to talk about CompTIA and the Security Plus exam. CompTIA recently came out with Security Plus 601, and we're going to talk a couple of things about that. We're going to talk about what is new on the test, any changes, new job roles that came with the exam. And of course, we're going to talk about how, when does it expire and what we can do to get ours renewed. All right, CompTIA came out on November 20th, November 12th, with a new Security Plus exam, Security Plus exam 601. For those of you who are not familiar with CompTIA, CompTIA is a nonprofit company that handles vendor neutral computer certifications. The most famous one is A plus. They have one called Security Plus, which is an entry level cybersecurity cert, which was first released in 2002. And every 3 years, they try and renew it, recreate it, right? Come out with a new exam with things that have changed. Security Plus is one of the core, what they call core skills certification, along with IT fundamentals, A plus, and Network plus. Today on LinkedIn, uh, CompTIA had a video with a couple of people who work with CompTIA, and they were talking about the certs, about the new Security Plus 601. They said that it's a good cert to have. It's a springboard if you want to go on to do pen testing and Cloud Plus. As always, with one of their exams, there's a score that you have to reach. The high score is 900 on a CompTIA exam. And on this particular exam, you got to score 750 out of 900. And the maximum number of questions you can get is 90. And that's the mixture between performance based, or what they call simulators, and multiple choice. It's recommended to have at least 2 years of experience and Network Plus. Now, for someone who teaches all of these certs, um, I gotta be honest. If you don't have A plus and Network Plus, don't take this as an exam. I mean, you can, but having A plus and Network Plus will make your life so much easier, so much easier. Um, I think I always say A plus, and A plus is the biggest one. A plus has like 50% of Network Plus in it, and I think it has 30% of Security Plus in it. So it's always good. I mean, I have students who come into Security Plus and don't know anything about computers, and that makes it very, very difficult. I mean, if you don't know anything about computers, you should start at minimum A plus, or even if you need fundamentals. Because if you're taking Security Plus and you cannot create a folder, you don't need to be in that class, right? So I don't really recommend you coming in cold and taking a Security Plus exam course. I mean, I've known people who've done it, and these are people who I remember one guy in particular that he had a job lined up, and all he had to do was pass the exam. That was one of the requirements, and he locked himself in his room and he studied. He said he studied 10 hours for 3 straight days and he passed. But unless you highly motivated like that, this is a very tough exam. Not impossible, but tough. This exam is used to test your competency on how to secure network systems, software, and devices. What are the new items in this exam? Well, they added issues with embedded devices, your IoT, right, Internet of Things devices. More questions about migrating to the cloud, especially in hybrid. Emphasis on entry level incident response. I think they're emphasizing a lot of teamwork on this exam, and teamwork and collaboration is a big thing if you're going to be a tech. I mean, you got to learn how to work together as a team. It's very important. And they also added governance, risk, and compliance. Talk about PCI DSS, NIST, right? Your regular compliance standards that they have. They talk about new job roles with Security Plus. The primary roles they can get with this certification is security administrator and system administrator, but they've added a whole bunch of related jobs that having a Security Plus certification will help you have, like help desk manager, network cloud engineer, maybe a little bit of IT auditing, right? Not saying that just having this will get you a job, let's say as an IT auditor, but having it along with something else, CISA, will help you. Um, you know, the Security Plus is the third, according to CompTIA, the third most requested certificate out there. Of course, number one is the Cisco CCNA and the Cisco Certified Network Professional, and then number three is Security Plus. So I mean, it's not a bad certificate to have. It's actually a really really good certificate to have. It's not an easy exam. You really, really have to study for it. That's really something that you have to study for it. Corporations and defense organizations, they value these type of certifications. This, especially Security Plus. I know the Department of Defense absolutely loves this certification. So if you want to go into the military or if you want to go into government contracting, uh, get this cert. This cert will help you immensely. I mean, there's a whole lot of jobs in the Washington, Virginia, Maryland area that if you have your Security Plus certification, it's going to be really easy for you to get a job. Um, they provide this certification provides hands-on skills. They're saying more jobs require Security Plus. Job growth, they predict will increase by 4% in the next 8 years. And there's currently 373,000 available security jobs that go unfulfilled in this country. And a lot of it is a combination of things, but I don't think we're there as a country yet where we're teaching people how this security works for computers. We're not there yet. The average pay of someone with a Security Plus certification is $83,000. So I'm not saying, like, let's be honest, you're not gonna get this certification and then go out tomorrow and get a job making 83,000. That's not gonna happen. But what you can do is this will help you get a job that maybe you start at 40 and a year or two later you get another job, it's 65, and you have the ability to move up. It gives you that flexibility that you might need that you're not getting in whatever job you're at now. It's an excellent certification, but again, with all CompTIA exams, what makes it attractive is it's not an easy exam. None of the CompTIA exams are easy. You actually have to study for them. And they're not like I like to call your regular high school questions where they ask you, when is Independence Day? They don't ask you those type of questions. The questions that they ask you are cognitive based questions, thinking questions. You have to sit there and think. But I'm a firm believer in a lot of these questions. The answer is in the question. So if you can take the question and kind of, really dissect it, you could probably find the answer there or eliminate at least two of the choices that you have. And later on in another podcast, I'll talk a little bit about taking a question and dissecting it and, being able to choose the best answer, right? Because most of the questions are multiple choice. So you have an advantage there if you can uh, pick apart the questions. Now you can still take the 501 if you choose. The 501 will expire July 31st of 2021. So you have about 9 months left before that one expires. And they were saying in the video that if you have a voucher for a 501 Security Plus exam, you can use that voucher to take a 601. But remember, it's new material in the 601. So I would advise you to still take the 501, especially if you already study for it. You might take the 601, might be a bunch of questions there that are new that maybe you didn't study, and then that might cause you to lose points. And we all know how valuable points are in these CompTIA exams. You don't want to fail because of 1 or 2 points, right? Um, but you can still take the 501 up to July of next year. They said they kind of did it to kind of end with the school year or a little bit more than the school year. That way they don't want to cut it off in the middle of February because they know that a lot of schools are now teaching security. So they want to be able to have the students to finish the semester, maybe have a month and a half of studying, and then take the exam. Right? They even giving you an opportunity to take security like in the summer, maybe summer one if you're in college, and then still have a couple of weeks to study before you take it. And if you're in high school and you're taking it, you still have like about a month to take it, and it's still valid. So, and again, I always tell people nobody cares what your score is, so don't try to go for 900. Try to go for 750. Um, and yeah, they everything is still the same. After 3 years, the exam would expire. So this exam would expire in the year 2023, most likely. Or if you take it now, it'll expire in 2023. Usually, you could see in the year 2023, probably 2024, they probably roll out the 701, but that's a long time from now. Right now they're still doing because of the pandemic. They're still doing testing from home. I actually have an interview coming up in the next podcast with someone who has recently taken his Network Plus, and he's going to explain to us how was the environment of taking the Network Plus exam from home, and what's all the other what he had to do with the camera, and what other restrictions that they have, because I'm getting mixed reports, and I want to kind of interview someone who just recently took the exam and kind of tell us how it was. But that's on the next show. So yeah, so that's it. Just talk a little bit about. I just wanted to come on real quick and talk a little bit about Security Plus and the new Security Plus 601 exam. And hopefully, this time next year, we have a bunch of our students or my students taking the 601 and getting certified. That's going to be all for the show for today. As always, I want to thank CompTIA. I want to thank music by Joachim Kapoor, cover art by Sarah. And this has been a production of Little Chacha Productions. And I thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.